Inspiration can be a really powerful thing. It can lead to passion, and passion can lead to a more fulfilling and successful life. In today's vlog, I'm going to tell you a story about how 2 life-changing incidents inspired me to join the ambulance service. 1, where I nearly died. 2, where I saved someone's life. But first, roll the intro. So this is where it all started. This is the Sandcastle Water Park here in Blackpool, and it's the largest indoor water park in the UK. Not only that, it's got the world's longest indoor roller coaster water slide. I'll show you inside. How cool is that? That's brilliant. So we go back to February 2002. I'm a young 22-year-old, bags of confidence, and I had just completed here my SAS style training to become a lifeguard. Okay, so it wasn't SAS style training, but it was really intense. Now, I'd done swimming for years, but the paces they put you through, you don't realise that actually there's a lot of stuff that goes into being a pool lifeguard. It's not just a case of sitting there wearing the funky David Hasselhoff uniform and you know, looking at all the totty that goes past. It's a really serious thing, and people just, I don't think they realise until you go through it. Now, I was at an age where social life ruled, and the one thing that the Sandcastle did, or the Castle of Sand, as we used to call it, it had a fantastic social life. The team was fantastic, the management were great, the team that you worked with were absolutely fantastic, and everyone got on, and we all went out and socialised together. So now on the 19th of February, and I was on what we called evening clean. Basically, stay behind, clean all the pool area and get it ready for the next day. And we had a bit of a late finish, and the rain and the wind, oh my god, it was awful. The wind was absolutely gale force. The rain, torrential. You couldn't see anything. It was ridiculous. And one of the girls, she lived quite a distance away, so I offered to take her home. You know, that's the sort of team we had. So I dropped her off home. So it was at this junction that changed my life. The weather was awful, the rain was coming down, you could hardly see, visibility was really poor, and as I approached this junction and I looked both directions, I looked to my right, and in the distance, and it's a very long road, in the distance I could see a very, very, very faint set of headlights, and I couldn't see anything the other way, so I started to pull out. The next thing I remember was a huge white flash and then darkness. I was in and out of consciousness, and the next thing I do remember after that was the paramedics putting a neck brace, a collar around me to support me. I was in a considerable amount of pain. I knew that I'd broken my leg, I knew my shoulder was dislocated, I was struggling to breathe, my head was absolutely killing me, and I didn't know what was going on. The next thing I remember, I'm now on the ambulance and I'm being treated, and then I'm out cold again. And from there, I'm now in the hospital and I'm in the room for the doctors to work on me. So on screen now, I'm going to flash you an image of the actual wreckage, and this here, this wall, is where the car came to a stop. I'd been hit from here and pushed all the way here. It was estimated that I was hit around about 60 miles an hour, if not more, but we couldn't prove anything because with the amount of rain, there was no skid marks. The injuries that were confirmed was I'd shattered my right femur, I'd broken multiple ribs, my shoulder was dislocated, I'd fractured my pelvis, I had multiple organ damage, so liver, kidneys, my intestines, my pancreas, everything. I was internally bleeding, and I even had a bleed on the brain. Needless to say, the outlook wasn't good. I was told I was going to lose my leg, and that if they managed to save my leg, that I'd probably never walk again. And the surgeons did an amazing job, and they put a little metal rod, I say a metal rod, they put a big metal rod all the way through my leg. Spent the next few months learning to walk again. I was starting to recover. But my mental state, it was my mental health that was now starting to decline. And I needed to get back to work. I needed to do something to keep me occupied. So I spoke with the guys at the Sandcastle and my bosses, and it was agreed that I could come back on some form of light duties. So we now move forward to September, and we're just about to start a brand new lifeguard intake, and I got to help train. So working alongside my mate Rick and assisting him, I was in the water, I was practicing the movers, and it was fantastic. It gave me the chance to do what I've been trained to do and practice and build up some fitness. I enjoyed it that much that off my own back I enrolled on a trainer assessor course, and I then qualified to officially teach new pool lifeguards. It was brilliant. So whenever there was new courses, if I could officially, as a trainer, help teach new lifeguards, and it was brilliant. It was like a newfound passion. So not only was I getting to do what I loved at the time, which was lifeguarding, but I also got to train the next generations. And there's something really special about passing on that knowledge. Not only does it make you feel proud because you're passing on that knowledge, but you actually get better at reinforcing that knowledge to yourself. So we're moving forward now to July the 28th, 2003. Now I'm on duty. We've just done a pull rotation, and that basically means that you stay on post for half an hour and you move around. It's to stop you getting bored looking at the same zone. Now this section here, this is completely changed now. This used to be what we called the deep end, and we had a whole run of sections. So all this stuff, all these features, these are all new. And we've got little water cannons just over there. And actually what we see here, this is the exit to the lazy river that they've now introduced. But this whole section was completely open up. I just moved around. My chair was where them steps are, and that raised area. And I just moved here to this spot, and I was on a chair and I'm watching this pool. One of the worst times for a pool is when there's a rotation, because you're taking your eye off the ball for about 30 seconds as you rotate around, change seating positions and have a sit down. Now I'm sat in my chair and there's a young little boy, 7 years old, and he's starting to swim into my area, but looking at him there was something not right, and it was really weird, and something bugged me, and it sent a chill through my body. So I got down off my chair, and as I'm watching him, and he's coming up for air, and the way he's breathing, and it really, really did scare me. And I froze a little, and I looked to my colleague, who was just one of my mates over there, and he sat in the seat I was in. And I looked at him, and he looked at me, and we just knew. And at that point, he stopped moving. He just went still in the water. So I blew my whistles. We used to have a system, you blow 3 whistles and that alerts everyone in the complex. And I dived in and I pulled this lad to the side and we got him here. And then from there, we dragged his body here. At this point, he's now blue. He's not breathing. My heart is going like the clappers. Everyone is now rushing. And I clicked into training mode. Automatic kicked in. And I gave him what we call 2 rescue breaths, the mouth to mouth. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So I did it again. Gave him another 2 rescue breaths. And I felt his pulse and it was weak. And at this point now, one of my supervisors, Dina, she turned up and she was very experienced, so she took over. She gave another rescue breath and suddenly this lad started coughing up water and the colour started coming back slowly into his cheeks, but his lips were still blue. So we picked him up and we ran him to the first aid room. and it was a really, really horrific sensation. But the professionalism, the fact that the training kicked in, the fact that as much as on the inside our hearts were absolutely pounding, it was so scary, we were so calm and professional on the outside. There wasn't any panic. It was as we'd been trained. And it was that incident was the final inspiration for me, the Kickstarter to say, you need to become something to do with the ambulance service or a medic or saving lives. That is what you're destined to do. The really weird thing was that we ended up in the paper because we'd saved this lad's life. And I'll show this on full screen as well, but this was the article. And just look how young I was. I was handsome, devil. What went wrong? But it was really weird because when I read this and it says a 7-year-old boy whose heart stopped beating after he sunk in a Blackpool swimming pool. Well, he didn't sink and his heart didn't stop beating. He'd literally just stopped breathing because of asphyxiation from nearly drowning. But that's typical of the press. The press likes to get things wrong. But yeah, it was a really, really poignant part of my life. That very proud of that moment. And the strangest thing was, after we'd rescued him and it was time to sort of switch off, I went back downstairs to the change rooms because I was soaking wet, and I got my spare uniform and I had a shower and I had a cup of tea, and I smoked back then, and you could smoke downstairs, so I had a fag. And it was at that point, that's when I spewed my ring up and it suddenly hit me what had happened, and it was weird, that whole after thing. But yeah, it was good. So there you have it. Two quite different and yet linked incidents in a very short period of time that gave me the inspiration to join the ambulance service. When I had my crash, if it hadn't have been for the paramedics and the firemen and the police on scene, I probably wouldn't have survived. That thing changed my life. And I'm very, very lucky and very grateful to the guys who were there for keeping me alive, for getting me to the hospital in a very quick time in order for me to, one, not lose my leg, but to live. And I am ever, ever, ever grateful to them guys for that. And to this day, I still don't know. And it's a really weird thing because being part of the ambulance service, I actually have access to be able to find out who it was and whether I even work with them. Have they retired? Have I met them? And I suppose that's something looking forward to maybe do for another video. Tracing who they were. But there's a lot of work involved in actually tracing that. But yeah, so that was the first big thing. Massively in awe of what they did and the skills they had, and that was the first sort of inspiration. And then to actually save someone's life, that was a really big point in my life. I'm very proud of that moment. So yeah, them two key things inspired me. And it took years before I got into the ambulance service, but I didn't give up because it was something that I knew deep down I had to do. It was something I wanted to do, and I've never looked back. But the very best thing that's come out of this whole thing, this car crash and saving someone's life and never giving up to join the ambulance service, is now that I am in that position where on occasion, and it's rare thankfully, but on occasion I attend these sorts of incidents, and I have in the past. I have attended really serious RTCs, and I've been in that position where I am now responsible for keeping someone alive with my people, with my crewmates that I'm working with and the team around me, and that we're responsible for getting them to the hospital in as best condition as possible and maintaining their life so that the doctors can then work their magic. That makes me really proud, really, really proud, and it's a very humbling position to have been on the flip side of that coin. But it's a weird thing how passion takes you. And it's like this with the YouTube videos now. I was inspired to do this. And I love the filming, and I love doing the videos, and I love seeing your reactions to them and the feedback that I get, and it's great. And I don't know where I want to go with this at the moment. And I've said this before in videos. People have said to me, you know, is your goal to make money and to become a big superstar on YouTube? Not really. You know, we don't know if that's going to happen. We don't know at all. I just enjoy making videos and I love putting out content. If that it happens that this video or any of my videos suddenly take off and lots of people start watching it and it suddenly propels me into a YouTube universe where I'm getting loads and loads of views and I can make money off it, that's brilliant. But as for this video, I really enjoyed it. It was good going back down memory lane. It was nice to reveal a part of my life to you, and hopefully for you to sort of get a sense of who I am a little bit more compared to my other videos. But if you did like this video, the key thing I'm going to ask for you today is, if you like this video and you're still watching at this point, I'm going to ask you to do this. Share this video. That's the big thing for me, because I think this is a key message as far as inspiration and how it can lead to things. So I'm not going to ask, I mean, by all means subscribe if you don't want to and all that sort of thing, but I'm not going to ask that message this time. This time, the thing I'm asking is, if you like this video, share it. I want you to share it so that other people can see it. And those of you that are watching it who've seen it because it's been shared, the same to you. Share this video. Have you got something that's inspired you to do something as to where you are now? Other than that, I will see you in the next video. Bye for now. And one last thing, because I totally forgot, a big thanks to Rick Halstead and the team at the Sandcastle for letting me come in today before they opened and do some filming. Truly appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much. And yeah, hit the subscribe button. Bye.